We're going to play a Wheel of Fortune board game showdown now again with the Disney Wheel of Fortune board game from 2008, and vowels are 250. So we're going to play that right now. And category for our first round is movie titles. So spin the wheel. Lose a turn, so spin the wheel again. 100, can I have an R? There is an R. That's $100. I think I will spin the wheel again. 600, can I have an S? There are two S's. So that's $1,200 worth of S's. I think I'll spin the wheel again. 400, can I have a T? There is three T's. Three T's, that's $1,200 worth of T's. You're doing good here. You're getting the big money. You're getting lucky here. 200, can I have an N? There is two N's. So that is $400 worth of N's. I think I'll spin the wheel again. Remember, it's movie titles. 200, can I have an L? There is no L. I'll spin the wheel again. 200, can I have a P? There is no P. I'll spin the wheel again. 100, can I have an M? There is no M. I'll spin the wheel again. 600, can I have an H? There's two H's. That's $1,200 worth. I'm going to spin the wheel again. 300, can I have a G? There is no G. I'll spin the wheel again. 300, can I have a Y? There is no Y. I'll spin that wheel again. Walt Disney Vacation. Guess the letter, then you can have that. I think I will go for a D. There is a D, so you can pick up that Walt Disney Vacation now. There it is. You got that Walt Disney Vacation right there. There it is. So that's yours, unless you hit a bankrupt. So try not to do that. I think I'll spin the wheel again. I'll spin the wheel again. 400, can I have a C? There is no C. I'll spin the wheel again. That's 700 you hit. I think I will go for a W. There's a W. And I think I will buy a vowel. I will buy an E. There's 3 E's. And I will buy an O. There's 2 O's. Now, I think I'll solve the puzzle now. The sword on the stone. The sword on the stone. The sword on the stone. That's correct. Try again. That wasn't on the stone. I think I will solve it again. The sword in the stone. The sword in the stone. That is correct. So now we'll reveal that puzzle. So now that is your vacation to keep because you solved the puzzle without hitting a bankrupt. So that is yours to keep, that Walt Disney Vacation. So now we will go to our second round. Forgot to show you the puzzle first. There it is, the sword in the stone right there. So now we'll go to our second round. Category for our second round is heroes and heroines. So that's the category for our second round. So spin the wheel. 700, can I have an R? There is no R. I'll spin the wheel again. 300, can I have an S? There is no S. I will spin that wheel again. Free spin, can I have an E? Yes, you can have a free vowel. There's 2 E's. I think I'll spin the wheel again. Lose a turn, spin the wheel again. You got the bed and breakfast, so guess the letter, then you can pick up that bed and breakfast. I go for a T. There is no T, so you don't get that bed and breakfast. 300, can I have an N? There is no N. I will spin that wheel again. 200, can I have an L? There's 3 L's. So that is $600 worth of apples. I think I'll spin that wheel again. 400. Can I have an M? There is no M. So spin that wheel again. 300. Can I have an H? There is no H. I'll spin the wheel again. 100. Can I have a G? There's no G. I'll spin the wheel again. 100. Can I have a D? There is no D. I'll spin the wheel again. 500. Can I have a C? There is no C. I'll spin the wheel again. 200. Can I have a B? There is no B. I'll spin that wheel again. 300. Can I have a P? There is a P. When I think I'll buy a vowel, I will buy an A. This is a hard puzzle. There is an A. I think I'll spin that wheel again. 400. Can I have a Y? There is no Y. I think I'll spin that wheel again. 500. Can I have a F? There is no F. I will spin that wheel again. 100. Can I have a K? There's a K. I'm going to spin that wheel again. 100. Can I have a Z? There is no Z. I'll spin that wheel again. 300. Can I have a W? There is no W. I'll spin that wheel again. 700. Can I have an X? There is no X. I'll spin that wheel again. 400. Can I have a V? There is no V. I'll spin the wheel again. 500. Can I have a J? There is no J. I'll spin the wheel again. There's only one constant. 300. Can I get a Q? There is no Q. So nothing left for vowel. What do you want to do? I think I'll buy a vowel. I will buy an I. There's two I's. I think it was a puzzle. Lilo, Pusley. Let's see if that's it. No, Pusley, that's it. So reveal that. So that was a hard puzzle. So now we will go to our third round after I show that puzzle to you. That was a hard. Lilo, basically that is the answer. So now we'll close those and go to our third round. Category for our third round is hero and heroines again. So now, so spin the wheel. $400, I want an R. And Vanna White is really going to be happy with us now because we're playing the Disney Wheel of Fortune board game showdowns now. So there's 2 R's. That's $800. Yeah. I think I'll spin the wheel again. 100, can I have an S? There is no S. I'll spin that wheel again. 500, can I have a T? There is no T. I'll spin that wheel again. 500, can I have an N? There is an N. That's $500. Now I will spin the wheel again. 200, can I have an L? There is an L. So that's $200. I think I'll spin the wheel again. 100, a Y. There is no Y. I will spin that wheel again. 400, can I have a H? There's no H. I'll spin that wheel again. 100, can I have a P? There is no P. I'll spin that wheel again. 400, can I have a G? There is no G. I will spin that wheel again. 200, can I have a D? There is a D. I think I'll spin that wheel again. Spin the bank up, I'll turn that free spin so I don't lose my money. I'll spin the wheel again. 300, can I have an M? There is an M. That's $300. I think I'll spin that wheel again. 200, can I get a C? There is a C. You gotta spin the wheel again. 300. Can I get a B? There's a B. And I think I'll buy a vowel. I will buy an E. There is 2 E's. I think I'll solve the puzzle now. Mr. Incredible. Mr. Incredible. That's the answer. So now we will reveal that puzzle. And now we'll show that puzzle yet, and then we'll go to our 4th and final round. There it is. There is that puzzle right there. Mr. Incredible. Now we'll go to our 4th round. The category for our 4th round is magical things. So spin the wheel. Magical things. $200. Can I have an R? There's an R. That's $200. I think I'll spin the wheel again. 200. Can I have an S? There is an S. And that's another 200. I think I'll spin the wheel again. 300. Can I get a T? There is a T. I think I'll spin the wheel again. 100. Can I have an N? There is 2 N's. That's $200 worth of N's. I think I'll spin the wheel again. 400. Can I get an L? There is no L. I will spin that wheel again. 300. Can I have a P? There is no P. I'll spin that wheel again. 400. Can I have an M? There is no M. I will spin that wheel again. 100. Can I have an H? There is an H. I think I'll spin that wheel again. 400. Can I have a D? There is a D. And I think I will buy a vowel. I will buy an E. There is 3 E's. I think I'll spin the wheel again. 200. Can I have a C? There is a C. And I think I'll solve the puzzle now. Enchanted Rise. It's not it. Enchanted Rose. Enchanted Rose. That's the answer. So now we'll reveal that puzzle. So now that was our fourth and final round. So now we're going to count our money. So we'll show you the puzzle here first. There it is, Enchanted Rose. So now we'll count our money. And that trip, you're going to go on a Walt Disney World vacation for a few days. It's a good trip. You're going to enjoy that Walt Disney. You won that because you solved the puzzles on a bankrupt and you won the round. So now we count our money. See what we won. $8,900 we won today playing Disney Wheel of Fortune. So we'll show that box to you again. So we will show that box to you right there. That is the Disney Wheel of Fortune board game from 2008. So we played a great game. So it's time we closed our camera.